I'm the dark storyteller. I'm here to guide you into the realm where dreams and secrets entwine. If my tales help you drift into sleep, show your magic. Like this video and subscribe to the channel. Tell me, from what corner of the world are you listening? And what hour does your clock strike? Take a slow breath in, and as you let it drift out, imagine yourself stepping into a quiet room lit by a single candle. Its flame is small, yet steady, just bright enough to brush the walls with gold, just gentle enough to keep the shadows soft. Find a comfortable place to rest. Feel the weight of the day ease from your shoulders, and let the hush of this moment settle around you like a warm quilt. Tonight I'd like to guide you on a walk through one of the oldest corridors in the human imagination. It is a passage where stories gather like dust, speckled light, where lessons wrap themselves in myth so we can carry them safely into sleep. We'll pause at faded doorways, open some, leave others closed, and you may discover that each threshold hides a mirror, reflecting questions we rarely ask when the sun is high. I'll be your quiet narrator, keeping the pace unhurried, the tone low and even. If at any point your eyelids grow heavy, that is perfectly fine. The tale will keep gliding forward, soft as evening rain, and you can drift between its threads without fear of losing your place. Stories meant for night are patient. They wait for you, cradle you, and whisper again when you wake. To begin, let's linger by the candle. Watch how the flame leans, almost imperceptibly, toward whatever stirs the air. Even the gentlest breath can coax it sideways, yet it refuses to surrender its core of brightness. So it is with the moral spark inside each of us, delicate, easily swayed, yet astonishingly resilient. For as long as people have gathered around firelight, we've told cautionary tales about what happens when that inner flame falters, and few figures embody that warning more completely than the one some ancient voices labeled asterisk, worthlessness. Asterisk, the word they used carried a sting. It implied a life unyoked, cut loose from duty, untethered from principle, not merely rebellious, but hollow, as though the force that binds choices to consequence had been snipped away. Over centuries, that idea thickened into a presence, and the presence grew teeth and ambition. But we're moving ahead too quickly. For now, just know that the emptier a vessel becomes, the more room it has to be filled with shadows. Imagine then a traveler who leans too far into the dark. At first, the night greets him with velvet silence and freedom from scrutiny. No eyes to judge, no laws to press upon the skin. Yet freedom unanchored can drift strangely, a boat severed from its moorings, lulled into believing every current is a choice. In that drift, a faint voice may rise, silken, reassuring, promising that nothing truly matters except the next desire. That voice wears many names across cultures, but tonight we will call it by the title written on dusty scrolls. Asterisk, asterisk, Belial, asterisk, asterisk. Do not worry, we will not invite him in. We will simply study the footprints he leaves at the edge of the hearth, faint as soot on stone. Each print is a lesson etched in caution, how small compromises can pile into ruin, how charm can dress itself in nobility, how a single neglected ember can let cold seep through a house. But let's not rush. The candle still burns, its radius of trust intact. With every quiet inhale, feel the circle of light steady your pulse. With every exhale, allow anything restless to dissolve into the outer dark, where it can no longer reach you. There is safety in attention, and attention is easiest when we move slowly. In the chapters ahead, we'll trace Belial's long transformation, from a mere word for lawlessness, to a figure who commands legions, tempts kings, and sows ruin. With a smile, we'll meet desert scribes who feared him, philosophers who debated him, and modern echoes that prove some myths never retire. Yet always, our path circles back to that first, flickering lesson. A single flame, tended with care, can outlast an ocean of night. So settle deeper, if you haven't already. The walls of the room blur, the candle's glow softens, and the story unfolds like a slow tide under moonlight. Should drowsiness slip its arm around your shoulders, let it. The tale will be here, humming gently, ready to guide you further when next you open your eyes. For now, hold the image of the candle, the small stubborn light, and know that as long as you remember it, the night can never fully claim the room. Rest easy, listener. Our journey has only just begun. Close your eyes, if they are not already drawn to a half-lidded haze, and picture the candle from our first meeting. Its single flame is steady, but tonight we step just beyond its golden circle, far enough to feel the cool hush, near enough to return with ease. Here, in the hush, words float like dust motes, and one ancient word hovers nearest the glow, says Belia, Yola. It drifts toward us from Hebrew tongues 3,000 years gone, carrying no horns or claws, only a warning sigh. Belia means without, Yola means a yoke. Together, asterisk, without a yoke, asterisk, asterisk, without worth, asterisk, asterisk, lawless, asterisk, not a monster. At first, merely the emptiness that follows when duty slips its harness. Imagine a hillside village at dusk. Shepherds guide their sheep inside stone folds. Mothers pull clay doors snug against night winds. Travelers nod to one another as cooking fires bloom. A shared rhythm binds every soul. Quiet rules that hum beneath talk and laughter. Now imagine one lantern blown out. One shepherd who decides the rule of fences needn't apply tonight. His flock strays, trampling a neighbor's field. A tiny gesture of asterisk, without a yoke, and yet the damage ripples outward, unseen in the dark. Ancient scribes feared ripples. They used Belia, Yola, Isa's scarlet stamp on men who shaved corners off justice, or mocked the pleas of the weak. Titate into stesum. Betate into spate 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 into spate. A priest who pocketed temple grain, a merchant who tipped his scales, a clan who turned hospitality into violence. These they called sons of Belia, not demons, but people. People so at ease with bending truth that emptiness roosted inside them, hollowing their hearts like dry gourds. Listen closely. You can almost hear the echo of that label in our own time. We rarely speak of yokes and worthlessness, yet we know the quiet shrug that says rules are for others. It lingers in corridors of power, in fleeting news flashes, in the click of a misleading headline. The word may be old, but the shape it points to is evergreen. Pause with me and breathe. Feel the air pass your lips. Feel the honest weight of your body on the mattress or chair. That weight is a kind of yoke, gravity's gentle insistence that you belong here. Now, it reminds us that freedom and grounding are partners, not rivals. Even the night sky keeps its stars in subtle orbits. Each blaze of light agrees to a silent rule so the constellation can shine. Picture again the travelers of the ancient desert, pressing ink onto parchment by wavering lamplight. They did not conjure a horned tyrant when they wrote Belia. They conjured a mirror. Hold that mirror up. See fatigue, yes. See longing, yes. But also see a steady ember of conscience that refuses to sputter. That ember is why you are listening now. Choosing story over noise, reflection over drift. Gently, we step back to the candle's radius. The word follows, but its edges soften. It becomes a lesson rather than a verdict, an invitation to notice the small cracks before emptiness seeps through. Tonight's takeaway is simple. The force that unyokes a single thought from responsibility can tug an entire life off course, but the opposite is equally true. One mindful breath, one honest act, can snug the yoke of purpose back across our shoulders, light as linen, firm as trust. So let the name linger on your inner ear once more. Ease Yola, and let it drift away like a puff of smoke. Feel your jaw unclench, your brow smooth. The lawlessness of the word cannot reach into a mind that is relaxed, aware, and sheltered by warm light. If drowsiness has begun its slow spiral around you, welcome it. The candle will keep guard. The story will pause in respectful silence until your attention returns, and when it does, we'll step into chapter 3, where the emptiness first spilled into history's pages under the cold stars of Gibeah. Until then, rest. Know that names hold power only when we forget to tend our inner flame, and yours, dear listener, glows bravely on. Chapter 3. Let the candles glow dim just a little, and imagine we are walking across ancient hill country beneath a velvet sky. The moon is thin, the air cool, and ahead lies a walled town called Sejin Gibeah, a place whose name once meant hill, but would soon echo with a heavier memory. Our steps are slow, for we are not hurrying toward danger. We are merely observers, drifting beside history, as though through a dream where nothing can harm us. Picture a lone traveler and his companion seeking shelter before the gates close for the night. Custom, in those days, held hospitality as sacred. A stranger at your threshold was a trust, not a threat. A yoke of responsibility, gentle yet firm. But on this night, the gatekeepers turn away, doors remain latched, shutters stay drawn. The town that should have welcomed them shrugs its shoulders, as though the quiet law of kindness has been set aside. At last, one gray-haired farmer waves them in, and offers straw for their animals, bread for their hunger, and a roof to keep the chill at bay. His small act flickers like our candle, proof that warmth can survive even when the larger hearth has cooled. Yet outside, unseen, a different spark catches, whispers gathering in shadowed alleys. Men who feel no yoke, men hollowed by the same worthlessness we named in chapter 2. The scrolls would later label them sons of Belial, not because they sprouted horns, but because they had let empathy drain away until only appetite remained. We will not linger on what happened when they pounded on the door. The old texts record violence so stark it fractured a tribe's future, but we need not bind that darkness to our dreams. Instead, let us focus on the deeper current, how swiftly a community can forget its own light when enough neighbors agree to dim their lamps. One refusal of hospitality becomes two, becomes many. Soon the streets grow colder than the winter wind itself. Imagine, for a moment, the dawn after. The market square is silent, the well untended, doors slightly ajar as though ashamed of what they hid. The traveler's footprints still mark the dust, but the people now carry a heavier imprint inside, the knowledge that a single night of neglect can echo for generations. Out of that echo, prophets would later warn, where compassion fails, Belial thrives. They were not describing a creature lurking under bedsheets. They were naming a pattern, a hollowing that begins with small conveniences and ends in ruin. Breathe with me. Slow inhale, slow exhale. Feel how each breath is a turning of the gate, opening and closing, a choice to welcome or refuse. Even in a modern world of locks and cameras, hospitality lives on. A listening ear, a fair deal, a promise kept. These simple gestures keep the town inside us bright, no matter how loud the night beyond the walls. Now imagine the traveler's lantern still burning somewhere on the road out of Gibeah. It moves on, searching for kinder thresholds, leaving the town to reckon with the vacuum it exposed. That is what tales of Belial do. They reveal, like candlelight through a crack, where care has crumbled. They ask us, softly but insistently, Sergeant, will you let it crumble further? Tonight, as you rest, picture your own gate at dusk. Who or what do you welcome in? What small refusals might harden into habit if left unchecked? There is no need for judgment, only gentle noticing, for noticing is the first stitch in mending, the first ember in rebuilding a hearth. And so, with the moon still thin above our imagined hills, we step back from Gibeah's silence. The lesson is tucked safely in our pocket. Hospitality is not merely a courtesy, it is a guardrail against emptiness. When dawn comes, whether in story or in your waking room, remember that a single open door, a single warmed bowl can keep the sons of Belial at the far edge of town. Let your eyes grow heavier. The candle stands watch, steady as ever, its flame reminding you that light begets light. In our next chapter, we will visit priests who forgot that lesson and learn how sacred duties can turn brittle when left unwatered. Until then, rest easy. The gates of your night are secure, and the story will wait, patient as the stars. Chapter 4. Breathe in, slowly, as though drawing scent from temple incense, once burned in sacred halls. Breathe out, and let the room around you grow still, quiet enough to hear the hush of distant ages. Tonight we leave the windswept hills of Gibeah and walk toward the tabernacle at Shiloh, heart of ancient worship. Imagine its great curtains swaying in a pre-dawn breeze, bronze altar cooling after the night's last ember, oil lamps guttering low but not yet gone. Within those walls, two brothers, Hophni and Phineas sons of the high priest Eli, move like shadows across holy ground. They wear linen ephods, symbols of service, yet their hearts drift far from devotion. Pause a moment, feel the solemn hush that should surround sacred duty, the gravity a surgeon feels before the first incision, or an astronaut before liftoff. Such gravity kept the tabernacle alight for generations. Every offering, every chant, every polished vessel, part of a living rhythm that bound the community to its source of hope. But habits, when left unguarded, can calcify into entitlement. The scrolls tell, softly, without lurid detail, how the brothers dipped greedy forks into steaming cauldrons, seizing the choicest meat that belonged first to God, then to the people. They flirted with worshippers, mocked rebuke, treated sacrifice like their personal larder, and so, inch by inch, the shine of priestly office dulled, not from one grand betrayal, but from countless tiny liberties, taken in the dim corners no one thought to watch. Suicide torrid sori file, Kitcher the tabernacle courtyard at dusk. A pilgrim approaches with trembling hands, offering grain ground from months of labor. He hopes for blessing, forgiveness, maybe a word of comfort. Instead, he meets the brusque command of a bored attendant. He hears laughter echoing from behind the curtain, notices smoke rising from cuts of meat never meant for mortal mouths. His shoulders sag. The sacred has slipped its cloak. Such stories remind us that emptiness can steal, not only into city streets, but also into pulpits, laboratories, boardrooms, any space where trust is currency. When guardians forget the light, lamps sputter, and the dark presses closer, hungry for cracks. Take another slow breath. As you inhale, imagine the faint smell of spilled wine on polished cedar. As you exhale, let the weight of expectation slide from your own shoulders. We are all keepers of something entrusted, a child's question, a promise to a friend, a project at work that bears many hopes. None of us wears linen ephods, yet our small realms are tabernacles of a kind, lit by the candle of integrity. Now picture Eli, old and near blind, sitting at the entrance. He hears rumors, warnings, pleas, yet hesitates, perhaps weary, perhaps afraid of fracture. His inaction teaches another lesson. Neglect can be as corrosive as wrongdoing. Duty demands not only clean hands, but watchful eyes, willing to confront decay before the rot takes hold. Have you noticed how soft the night has grown around you? Even the air seems to pause, listening. In that pause, consider a gentle question. Asterisk, asterisk, where in my life have routine and privilege begun to blur? No judgment, only the quiet nudge of awareness, like fingertips brushing dust from a silver chalice. Legend says a prophet finally spoke hard truth to Eli, and soon the ark itself departed, Shiloh, leaving the town bereft of glory. But the story is not meant to leave us fearful. It is meant to awaken care. For every lamp allowed to dim, another can be trimmed and brightened. For every careless priest, a new steward may rise, whose heart remembers why the flame matters. Let your eyelids grow heavy. Picture a single lamp within that ancient tent, newly filled with oil, wick freshly cut, burning with a steady blue core. Hold that image as reassurance that sacred spaces, outer and inner, can be restored the moment someone tends them with honest hands. In our next chapter, we will leave human courts behind and follow ideas into exile, where foreign stars and unfamiliar gods helped shape Belial into a cosmic adversary. For now, rest. The candle of conscience flickers faithfully at your bedside, and the night is kind. Chapter 5. Draw a deep, leisurely breath, the kind travelers might take after miles of dusty road, and let it out like a sigh across an open plain. Feel the distance stretch, carrying us hundreds of miles east of Shiloh, across deserts and winding rivers, until we arrive at the glittering gates of asterisk, asterisk, Babylon, asterisk, asterisk. It is the 6th century BCE. Judean captives walk beneath walls painted with lions and rosettes, their temple back home a smoldering memory, their psalms silenced by foreign trumpets. Night after night, they sit beside the Euphrates, listening to water lap against stone embankments, wondering if God can still hear them so far from Zion. Homesick hearts search the unfamiliar sky, and there above the ziggurats, new constellations glow, drawing lines they have never named. Pause with me. Picture those captives lying upon reed mats, staring through lattice work, letting Babylonian breeze cool their brows. They whisper stories to steady themselves, tales of creation, covenant, law. Yet the air around them hums with different legends, Mesopotamian epics of battling deities, Persian hymns invoking asterisk, asterisk, Ahura, Mazda, asterisk, asterisk, against asterisk, asterisk, Angra, Menu, asterisk, asterisk, light against darkness. The captives listen, compare, and slowly, their own vocabulary of good and evil begins to stretch, making room for cosmic scale. Remember the word we learned, Balia Wallah, without a yoke. In exile, it meets new ideas, and like clay on a potter's wheel, it spins into something larger, harder, more defined. If the world itself can be a battlefield between radiant order and lurking chaos, then asterisk, lawlessness, asterisk, may be more than a human flaw. It may wear armor and command armies of night. Thus, in the scrolls we will one day call apocalyptic, asterisk, Belial, asterisk, lifts from metaphor into personhood. The asterisk, asterisk, Prince of Darkness, asterisk, asterisk, who leads hosts of ruin against the sons of light. Fu sit, fu sit, fu sit, fu sit, Bay 2, Bulisval breathe again, easy and slow. Imagine the Euphrates moon, reflected on dark water, a bright coin floating, undisturbed. Reflection is what exile forces upon the soul. When old landmarks vanish, inner landscapes grow vivid, ideas expand, seeking contours that match the weight of new griefs. So it was with Belial. He became not just a cautionary label for selfish men, but the embodiment of every power that mocks hope, shatters sanctuary, and whispers, "Vision, your God cannot find you here." Yet notice something tender. The captives did not fold beneath that whisper. They answered with poems of endurance, visions of angels measuring future temples, prophecies where light ultimately triumphs. For every shadow the exile painted, they imagined a counter flame brighter still. Dualism, then, did not crown darkness. It sharpened contrast so that faith could choose its color with conviction. Let your own thoughts drift across personal exiles, times when familiar ground slipped away, a move to a new city, a career upheaval, a loss that rewrote morning routines. Exile is not always chains and edicts. Sometimes it is simply the feeling of standing where no street names ring true. In those seasons, ideas inside us shift as well. Beliefs once small may swell to fill a larger sky. Anxieties may sprout mythic wings. Hopes may don armor they never needed before. What matters is the story we weave from the mingling voices. Picture the captives at dawn. They fold their mats, gather by the river for quiet prayer. One sings softly, "Eset, if I forget you, O Jerusalem, may my right hand lose its skill." Another answers, "Eset, yet the mercies of the Lord are new every morning." Their dialogue with sorrow produces a faith resilient enough to survive empires. And in that dialogue Belial takes shape, not to steal their peace forever, but to give form to the foe they intend, someday, to defeat. Let your eyelids grow heavy. Babylon's breeze is warm, the river lullaby consistent as a heartbeat. Know that exile, even yours however quiet, can refine vision, teaching which stars to follow home. Know also that names like Belial carry the weight we assign them. We may acknowledge their menace without yielding to their command. In our next chapter, we will unfurl brittle scrolls hidden in desert caves, where the Prince of Darkness strides fully onto the stage of cosmic war. For now, rest beside these ancient waters. Feel the soft earth under your back, the cool air on your cheeks, and the certainty that dawn, even in Babylon, always finds a way to return. Chapter 6. Breathe in, feeling warm desert air glide through your imagination. Breathe out, letting grains of worry slip between unseen fingers. The candlelight dims, and suddenly we are standing on a ragged cliff above a turquoise mirror. The asterisk, Dead Sea, asterisk, quiet as a held breath. To one side, small cave mouths pepper the limestone like secret punctuation marks. Here, 2,000 years ago, a brotherhood called the asterisk, Essenes, copied sacred texts by starlight, guarding words as carefully as shepherds guard lambs. Picture an evening in their camp. Monks in rough linen robes file toward a communal table, salt tang in the breeze, parchment drying on flat stones. They speak little, for silence is a covenant. Their pens scratch by oil lamp glow, and each stroke bears a sense of urgency. They believe a cosmic war is coming, light against a darkness. They name asterisk, Belial, asterisk, not a rumor now, not merely an emptiness, but a commander of chaotic hosts, the Prince of Darkness, who marshals everything lawless against the order they cherish. For sighty si fino turn file forsooth me, feel sand sift beneath sandals, hear the hush of distant water. The monk's most riveting manuscript, later called Asterisk, the War Scroll Asterisk, sketches a final battle, 7 columns of shining warriors, sons of light, facing Belial's blackened legions across vast plains. Trumpets blare, slings whirl, angels bend their bows, yet beneath the martial imagery lies a simple heartbeat, hope that righteousness, though seemingly outnumbered, will stand when dust settles. Let your own breath follow that heartbeat, slow, steady, confident. In the glow of the Essenes lamps, words matter because words shape resolve. To name Belial with such clarity is to map the shadows, preventing them from ambushing the mind. The scribes refuse to let dread remain formless. They give it lines, a title, an eventual downfall, and by doing so they keep their inner lamps trimmed, ready for the long vigil. Imagine one scribe, youngest of the order, finishing his copy just before dawn. He rolls the parchment, slides it into a clay jar, and seals the lid with wax still warm between his palms. Perhaps he whispers a prayer for distant readers, readers like Asterisk, us Asterisk, who will unseal his words millennia later, and feel the dry air swirl, as though time itself exhaled. Now shift forward to 1947. A shepherd tosses a stone into a cave, and hears pottery shatter. What spills out is not treasure in gold but treasure in story, crackling fragments that reveal Belial's fully armored silhouette. Scholars pore over brittle script, newsreels hum. The world remembers that somewhere in its spiritual basement lies an unfinished war between conscience and corruption. Yet war, like exile, is often internal before it is cosmic. The sons of light and the soldiers of Belial assemble daily in quiet choices, generosity or envy, patience or pique, truth or easy flourish. The Essenes knew this. Their scrolls speak of ritual washes and daily reckonings, training the soul as carefully as an archer trains the arm. Close your eyes, if they are not already drifting. Sense the cave's coolness wrap around you, a stone cocoon safe from burning noon. Inside, a single lamp flickers, echo of our first candle, casting golden rings on rough walls. Each ring is a reminder, darkness, even when named prince, cannot swallow a circle of tended light. As sleep tiptoes closer, hold the image of sealed jars nestled in dust, waiting patiently for hands yet unborn. Their message reaches across centuries. Asterisk, asterisk, guard your inner script. Asterisk, asterisk, write kindness, humility, steadfastness with such care that even if buried, they will endure. In our next chapter, the caves give way to heaven's vault as we recount how angels rebelled and how Belial's banner rose beside, yet apart from Lucifer's. For now, exhale long and slow. Let the desert wind carry stray thoughts into the open sky, and feel the stillness of ancient vigilance settle over your own night. Chapter 7. Allow your breath to lengthen. Gentle tide in, gentle tide out, and feel the desert caves fade behind you. Tonight we look upward, far beyond human borders, to an hour when the highest courts of heaven trembled. Picture a dawn before there were dawns, when light itself was still learning to cast shadows. The Creator's throne blazed at the center, and around it vast choirs turned like constellations in perfect song. Among these early flames stood 2 radiant beings, asterisk, asterisk, Lucifer, asterisk, asterisk, herald of morning, and another whose name would one day chill storytellers, Belial. Not yet. Prince of Darkness, not yet. King of 80 legions, but an eager spark, bright with possibility. Thersites, Thesa, turn file, Fordo, pause and sense the hush of that sanctuary. Voices layered like woven gold, laws etched into music rather than stone. Every angel carried purpose as naturally as wings, yet purpose, like a sword, gleams on both edges, one for service, one for pride. and pride, subtle as wind shifting a feather, began to stir. Some say the discord started with a single note held just a fraction too long, Lucifer testing the melody. Others whisper that Belial was first to question why perfection must kneel. However it began, the harmony cracked, and from that crack, a rebellion poured forth like molten stars. Lucifer rallied brilliance. Belial supplied strategy, weaving plans sharper than any trumpet's call. In later grimoires, he's remembered as one of the earliest angels to fall, perhaps even the second asterisk created, advising the morning star, while keeping his own counsel. Thersites, Fazah, turn file, Fordove, breathe, slowly. Let the notion settle that betrayal can blossom in places swaddled by radiance, that corruption is patient enough to take root even in perfect soil. The rebels, cloaked in their own glory, advanced with music twisted into thunder. Opposite them stood Michael and the loyal host, shields bright as dawns yet to come. Rather than clangor, imagine the battle as silence suddenly shattered, glass under stress, light colliding with light until brilliance tore itself into ribbons. At the last crescendo, the rebels fell, not slain, but separated, like sparks flung from a quenching blade. Lucifer's path spiraled toward a throne of absence, Belial's towards something colder, a kingdom built on worthlessness, the very emptiness we traced through earlier chapters. Yet notice a nuance. Belial's allegiance to Lucifer, say the old texts, has always been conditional, a pact of convenience more than devotion. Ambition clung to him like frost on a midnight field, and even in exile, his mind kept crafting angles within angles. That independence makes him especially perilous. He may serve hell's ruler, or undermine him, whichever feeds his hidden aim. Thersites, Fazah, turn file, Fordove, keel fully, feel shoulders loosen. Why tell such high remote tales at bedtime? Because they mirror humble patterns in us, the tug between service and self, the quick slide from inspired idea to hungry ego. Every conscience hosts a minor heaven, where lofty motives sing, until a stray envy hums a different tune. The ancient story magnifies that inner discord so we can see its outline clearly. Then choose which chorus to join. Picture now the fall complete, stars steady once more, silence repaired. Where rebels once flashed, only faint embers drift through cosmic night. And yet, in that seeming defeat, the seeds of future temptation are sown, Belial gathering them. Patient as winter, return your attention to the present moment, the mattress beneath you, the rhythm of your chest. Feel how loyalty to what is good can be as simple as this attentive breath, neither angelic nor epic, just honest, steady, awake. In such wakefulness, rebellions of pride find no foothold. Let your eyelids lower, high above the heavens resume their song, one note quiet, perhaps but intact. The candle at your bedside answers with its own small glow, proof that light need not be grand to be faithful. In our next chapter we'll descend from cosmic heights to explore the thrones of flame, Belial's infernal court, where rank and ritual bind the legions he commands. For now, rest in the knowledge that awareness itself is a guardian, and that your quiet choice to tend it keeps even fallen stars at a respectful distance. Chapter 8. Let your breath draw you downward, as though descending a spiral of warm air into a vast, ember-lit hall. The ceiling arches beyond sight. Pillars of black glass reflect 1,000 tiny wavering lights, torches, perhaps, or eyes. Here, the inverted mirror of heaven's court unfolds, the infernal hierarchy, disciplined as an army, glittering as a crown of coals. At its center stands Belial, asterisk, no longer a restless spark, but a asterisk king, commanding 80 legions of demons, a force so immense that numbers blur like stars in a crowded sky. Ficas, et letern, file, forward, imagine, each legion as a tide of 6,000 spirits, swirling in ordered ranks, banners stitched from smoke, yet notice, their master guides, not with roaring threats, but with calculated grace, asterisk, his strength lies in subtlety, asterisk, erodes resolve much as slow water, hollows stone, quiet, patient, unstoppable, ficas, et letern, file, ficas, with me, hear the hush of so many wings folded in obedience, the soft clink of armor, crafted from discarded vows, such symmetry mesmerizes, every gesture measured, every step rehearsed, even the asterisk, fiery chariot, asterisk, at the dais, gleams with sinister beauty, wheels radiating heat that never burns its regal rider, ficas, et letern, file, ficas, asterisk, noble, charismatic, a prince in molten gold, yet, behind the polished mask, flickers a hint of something monstrous, glimpsed only when the torches gutter, ficas, et letern, file, ficas, dumber, bathe out, slowly, and let the scale of this pageant shrink to a parable, for courts of ambition exist in our own world too, boardrooms, parliaments, secret chat groups, where decisions tilt destinies, rank can dazzle, titles can lull, but power wielded without conscience is still an empty throne, atop an aching void. Walk with me along the hall's perimeter, notice how lesser captains admire their king's composure, mistaking manipulation for wisdom. They celebrate victories, measured not by creation, but by corruption, entire cities coaxed toward greed, institutions nudged off ethical rails. A single whispered decree travels the ranks, and somewhere far above the mortal crust, a virtue bends, then breaks. Yet even here, a lesson flickers. Hierarchy itself is neutral. A ladder can lift or imprison, depending on who climbs and why. What brands these thrones as dreadful is not the order, but the purpose. Every protocol serves the quiet harvesting of integrity. Take a renewing breath. Feel your body grounded in softness, far from scorching stone. Picture a tiny stubborn light, your own inner candle, floating into this hall. The vast machinery pauses, torches lean as if curious. One pure flame, tended with honesty, confounds legions that march by borrowed authority. Remember that image whenever earthly pomp looms too large. Now let the scene fade, like embers settling into ash. The black pillars recede, the clang of spectral armor dissolves, and you rise gently back through the spiral of warm air to the comfort of your room. Your pulse is steady, the candle glows unwavering, the night outside is peaceful, indifferent to hollow pageants below. In our next chapter, Sician charm woven in gold, we will step closer to Belial's radiant facade and study how beauty itself becomes a snare. Until then, rest assured, no throne, however burning, can eclipse the quiet sovereignty of a mindful heart. Chapter 9. Settle a little deeper. Feel the mattress cradle each curve, the air warm against your cheeks, the candle's low flame dancing just beyond your eyelids. Tonight, the story drifts toward brilliance, toward a beauty so polished it can blind the unwary. Imagine a grand corridor unfurling before you, carpeted in crimson velvet, chandeliers trimmed in crystal. At its far end, double doors swing open without a sound, and Baal steps through. No horns, no sulfur, no rattling chains, only regal poise, and a smile that could steady a storm. Ancient texts describe him as Sezin, noble and charismatic, his striking beauty cloaking malevolent intent. Asterisk, asterisk, Kamai Sezin, Tana Phyla Sezin, Dole. He wears a mantle stitched with golden thread. Gemstones wink at each measured stride. A asterisk, asterisk, fiery chariot, asterisk, asterisk, glides in his wake, wheels of living flame, spokes humming like distant choirs. Who's here? Notice how the mind leans towards such radiance, how instinct whispers asterisk trust asterisk when something gleams. From childhood we're taught to equate shimmer with safety, a parent's soft eyes, a trophy's shine, a candle in the dark. Bial understands this reflex, as a craftsman understands fine tools. He polishes every word, times every laugh, folds every compliment like origami, until it perches on your shoulder, whispering that desire itself is destiny. Yet the scrolls warn that his elegance is asterisk, asterisk, a calculated illusion. Behind the mask lies a monstrous form. Asterisk, asterisk, picture a mirror lining the corridor wall. If you glance sideways, only for a heartbeat, you glimpse the reflection flicker, the smile warps, pupils narrow to black blades, skin ripples like scorched parchment. Then as quickly as a candle gutter, the visage smooths again, impeccable. The spell resumes. Breathe in, slow, unhurried. Feel how awareness keeps illusion at arm's length. Biala's golden charm feeds on inattentive minds. The moment you watch with steady eyes, the lacquer thins. Think of times perhaps, when a deal seemed too perfect, a praise too lavish, a headline too convenient. Often it is not horns that betray the trap, but perfection itself, edges sanded so smooth, they deny the reality of flaws. Now envision the corridor filling with people from every walk of life, merchants, artists, leaders, each dazzled by the kingly smile. He offers wealth to the pauper, influence to the ambitious, validation to the lonely. All he asks in return is a tiny pledge, a harmless compromise, a dimming of some inner lamp. One by one, hands extend. One by one, oaths are murmured. Gold dust swirls, settling on shoulders like fallen starlight. Yet step closer and see the cost. The dust is warm, almost hot, and where it lingers the skin grows numb. It is difficult to hold a child with numb arms, or sign an honest contract with numb fingers, or hold fast to principle with a numb heart. Biala's beauty does not wound, it anesthetizes, makes surrender feel like floating. Exhale, long complete, let the corridor dissolve, feel the real room return. Four quiet walls, soft bedding, candlelight true and modest. Beauty is not the enemy, unexamined, allure is. There is loveliness that inspires, art that heals, faces that kindle hope. They welcome scrutiny, invite deeper knowing. Only the false glitter recoils from honest gaze. So before sleep gathers you, practice a simple ritual. Picture a small clear bell suspended at the center of your mind. Whenever you face gleam without substance, strike the bell once with attention. Its pure note will vibrate through the glamour, revealing either authentic light or the hollowness beneath. With such a bell, even the most brilliant charlatan cannot command your dreams. Let eyelids grow heavy. Let breaths coast like slow river barges. The candle burns steady, humble, content to be seen for what it is. In our next chapter, Sozint, the face behind the mask, we will hold the mirror a little longer, watching what surfaces when perfection splits. For now, rest gently. Know that true light welcomes your clear sight, and that no golden snare can bind a heart committed to seeing honestly. 12. Asterisk, courting kings and captains. Asterisk. A hush settles over a map room, high within a citadel, walls paneled in cedar, lamps glowing like captive dawns, brass compasses lie open on the table, needles twitching toward conquest. Here, the great decisions of a realm wait upon quills and whispered counsel, and here, Unseen but ever-present stands Belial, the master of systemic corruption, Sishin targeting leaders and organizations with a patient, calculated hand. Asterisk. Watch him drift between ranked officers, their uniforms crisp as parchment edges. He speaks without sound, yet egos bend toward the breeze of his approval. Your vision could outshine every banner. He seems to murmur to the young general tracing supply lines. The treasury will follow your brilliance. He assures the finance minister tallying columns. Compliments land like medals, weighty, gleaming. Each recipient straightens, a fraction prouder, a fraction less inclined to doubt the next suggestion. Belial hardly ever commands outright. Instead, he invites asterisk alignment. Asterisk, a minor decree here, a tax incentive there, each calibrated to tilt the ruling structure towards self-benefit. Over time, the tilt becomes the norm. An empire's moral compass resets by degrees too fine to measure, until sunrise reveals borders redrawn in silence. Breathe gently. Picture a harbor at dusk, where captains gather, spyglasses slung like scepters, ships groan against their moorings, eager for trade or plunder. Belial strolls the wharf, boots never scuffing wood, and selects his protégés with jeweler precision. To one he offers favorable winds if only the manifest omits certain tariffs. To another he promises fame, if her cannons prove just a little louder than diplomacy. Charm, leverage, ambition, his instruments play soft as tide, yet they steer hulls toward unseen reefs. Consider a throne room, bathed in stained glass dusk. The monarch studies petitions, farmland rights, court reforms, relief for distant provinces. Hanging beside the dais is a scroll no subject may read. It lists favors owed to unseen patrons, alliances brokered in back corridors, debts denominated not in coin, but in compliance. Belial penned that scroll in invisible ink. Heat of anxiety alone will reveal it, line by damning line, should the ruler ever pause long enough to question. Inhale. Feel ribs expand like sails. Notice how grand arenas of power often mirror our own small councils, family budgets, project teams, neighborhood boards. Wherever authority convenes, Belial seeks a seat, draped in deference. Yet authority itself is neither curse nor blessing. Its trajectory depends on vigilant hands at the helm. Imagine now an admiral poised before launching a fleet meant to secure humanitarian corridors. A single clause buried in orders permits discretionary extraction of resources. The Belial's smile flickers in the lantern light. The admiral hesitates. Memories of childhood oaths surface. Duty, honor, guardianship of the weak. In that heartbeat of reflection, the claws glints like broken glass. Quill rises, ink blots remain unsent. De Belial's expression thins, cool as sheeted rain. One leader's pause can reroute 1,000 lives. Exhale slowly. The map room, harbor and throne all fade, replaced by the quiet ceiling above your resting eyes. Power will always court persuasion. The question is whose voice guides the dance. Integrity is not a fortress built once but a watch kept nightly. Lanterns trimmed, intentions audited like ledgers. Let thought drift to any sphere where your choices ripple outward. A mentor's influence, a budget approval, an online post hundreds might echo. Hold a tiny candle up to those moments. If its light reveals hidden angles, adjust with calm courage. If it shows clear paths, proceed with steady grace. Each honest correction is a keel turned from reef to open sea, a realm redirected before the crown slips. The lamps in the citadel dim, the ships settle, the throne room empties. Belial withdraws, robes rustling like turning pages, seeking other councils where vigilance has nodded off. Yet the crack of a single conscious breath follows him, a sound he cannot silence. Let your eyelids grow heavy. That courtiers of corruption cannot thrive where questions linger and humility presides. Next we will open asterisk, blueprints of temptation asterisk, tracing how those subtle alignments mature into sprawling systems of downfall. Until then, sleep beneath the quiet sovereignty of self-awareness, captain of your own calm seas. Chapter 13. Asterisk, Blueprints of Temptation. Asterisk, a fresh candle flickers to life, its flame no brighter than a firefly, yet enough to reveal parchment unfurled across a drafting table. Belial leans over the scroll, quill poised, eyes aglow with patient intent. Tonight we witness his truest art. Asterisk, planting seeds of corruption that blossom slowly, almost invisibly, until their fruit tastes like destiny. Asterisk, the Saitu, Daru File Su Thada. The parchment is not a single plan, but a lattice of timelines, threads weaving through decades, generations, entire cultures. One faint line begins with a scholarship offered to a gifted student, contingent on joining an exclusive circle. 20 years later, the circle's alumni form a voting bloc that redirects public funds to private gain. Another line starts with a minor procedural tweak in a pharmaceutical lab. 2 product cycles onward, safety trials shrink to fit quarterly targets. Each thread seems harmless at its origin, almost virtuous, yet every intersection tilts the loom toward inevitable collapse. Picture Belial dipping his quill into ink, dark as moonless water. He writes a phrase atop the scroll, Daoud, ambition, nourished by secrecy. Asterisk, for temptation rarely demands outright malice. It craves noble wrappers, innovation, competitiveness, efficiency. Like a gardener, sowing night-blooming vines, he buries motives beneath promises of progress. Divine sprout only after watchmen have changed shifts, their tendrils creeping along foundations, until stone groans with quiet cracks. Breathe in, unhurried. Feel the hush of a workshop at midnight. Wood settles, ink dries, gears rest. Blueprints require silence. Doubt might smudge the lines. The Belial counts on silence. The overlooked memo, the unasked follow-up, the sigh that says tomorrow. Each pause where vigilance could speak. Temptation slips a route. Imagine a small startup reviewing investment terms. The clause granting data. Harvest rights seems technical, reversible later. One founder, tired and eager, signs. Years pass. The platform explodes. User trust withers when data turns commodity. Investors shrug. The market moves fast. That shrug was drafted here, on Belial's parchment, long before servers booted. Yet blueprints alone wield no power without builders. Belial's genius lies in nurturing asterisk self-assembly. Asterisk, he plants incentives, applause, soft fears of missing out. People align themselves, believing the shape to be their own design. Like iron filings to a hidden magnet, they form patterns that serve his unseen architecture. Exhale softly, let awareness settle like dust on the parchment, outlining lines otherwise invisible. Awareness is solvent, it loosens ink before it dries. Picture a project manager, scanning requirements, one last time, spotting a metric that rewards speed over safety. A simple comment, let's flip these priorities, rewrites the blueprint. Tendril severed, collapse averted. Belial's quill hovers, drips, moves to another thread. Consider a classroom where curriculum omits certain histories for streamlined testing. A teacher adds a supplementary reading list, restoring nuance. Another thread unravels. Temptation's brilliance is its scale, but vigilance multiplies too. Each conscience accounted draftsman, tracing better lines. Let your eyelids lower. Feel heartbeat steady as a metronome guiding honest work. If you sense any creeping vine, an unexamined shortcut, an unquestioned norm, shine this small candle there. Plans that dread the light reveal their nature quickly. Those built on integrity stand unshaken. Belial rolls the parchment, ties it with silk, and slips into the corridor. He is patient. If one scheme dissolves, another germinates. But every mindful breath redraws the world in fresher ink. Rest now, dream of blueprints where corridors curve toward flourishing, where incentives reward care, where vines bear fruit sweet with transparency. In the next chapter, Sigend, the Gentle Hook, we will explore how these slow designs ensnare hearts through almost affectionate persuasion. Until then, sleep secure, pen of perception resting at your bedside, ready to sketch truer paths at dawn. Chapter 19. Asterisk Mirrors of Ambition. Asterisk, a corridor of polished obsidian stretches ahead, silent as a held breath. Each wall is a flawless mirror, so glossy you could read a heartbeat upon it. With every footfall the reflections multiply, dozens of you, then hundreds, until your likeness warps into a glittering mosaic. Belial constructed this gallery for one purpose, asterisk, asterisk, to amplify what already lives inside, pride, vanity, restless drive, until desire eclipses discernment. Asterisk, asterisk, the light-turned file falter, pause at the first mirror. It shows you accepting accolades beneath banners of success. Golden confetti drifts. A roaring crowd chants your name. Listen closely. The applause loops like a broken record, mechanical and thin. Lift the trophy displayed in your reflected hands. The metal dense under gentle pressure, hollow as a reed. Pride, exaggerated, proves fragile. To a second mirror glimmers. There you direct a board meeting. Every idea you voice becomes company policy. Every nod affirms brilliance. Charts spike upward, profits, influence, renown. Yet on the table lie unopened envelopes, feedback from junior staff, safety concerns from engineers. The mirror's surface fogs, blurring the letters. Vanity muffles voices that might steady the climb. Breathe in, a slow, deliberate breath. Feel your shoulders drop as honesty settles like cool rain. True ambition kindles when it lights paths for many. Belial's counterfeit frames only you, bending context into a self-shaped crown. A third panel appears dimmer than the others. Draw near. In its depths you see yourself older, seated in a spacious office, high above a neon city. Awards line the shelves, yet a hush pervades. No friends drop by, no mentors call. Isolation is ambition's shadow when goals consume the heart that forged them. Behind your chair, Belial's outline flickers, arching like smoke, smiling at the solitude his mirrors bred. Now step back. Mirrors obey distance. The farther you stand, the truer the proportion. One honest stride reveals seams in the obsidian, barely visible cracks, signaling the gallery is not eternal. In the ceiling, a small skylight appears, a single star beyond. Its faint light splashes across glass, disrupting reflections with soft gleam. Exhale slowly. Imagine pocketing that starlight, letting it hover just above your sternum like a lantern. With this lamp, each mirror shows new layers, celebration laced with service, profit tempered by ethics, solitude transformed by mentorship. Ambition guided by principle becomes compass, not cage. Turn and walk, starlight, steady. Behind you, mirrors dim. Their surfaces cannot hold images brightened by humility. At the corridor's end, a draped doorway opens onto quiet night. Crickets chirp, cool air brushes your skin. The gallery's spell breaks once you remember life outside its glossy walls. As you rest, let breath slow to the cadence of distant wind in treetops. Tomorrow, when real-world mirrors beckon, performance reviews, social feeds, accolades, touch the lantern at your chest. Ask asterisk, does this recognition expand my capacity to serve, to learn, to love? Asterisk, if yes, accept with grace. If not, step back until it shrinks to honest size. Settle now. The obsidian hole fades, your room returns. No infinite reflections, only one small candle nodding. Ambition, like fire, can warm or consume. With mindful tending, it glows steady, guiding without glare. Sleep beneath its gentle light, assured that in your hands it will illuminate, not burn. Chapter 20. Asterisk, tyrants of their own, making asterisk. The stage lights rise on 3 silent tableaux, each a cautionary playlet unfolding in the hush before dreams. Curtains of crimson velvet frame the scenes. A charcoal sky looms beyond. These are portraits of power, corrupted asterisk, not by sudden evil, but by incremental bargains. Belial offered and ambition accepted asterisk, thesis, ters, ctc, 1. The mayor's echo, cobblestone streets, once rang with children's laughter when the mayor rebuilt playgrounds. Tonight, that same crowd gathers outside City Hall chanting for his resignation. Months earlier, a lobbyist, soft voice, firm handshake, funded an amphitheater to boost civic pride. In return, school budgets quietly shifted to cover cost overruns. The mayor justified the trade. Art inspires, children adapt. Now teachers hold cardboard signs listing cancelled programs. Mothers tally bake sale, proceeds that cannot fill the gap. On stage, the mayor's podium spotlights an empty microphone. Power gained, trust drained. Scene 2. The visionaries glare. High in a glass tower, a tech CEO strides across polished floors. She once spoke of connecting the disconnected. Investors demanded scale. Belial supplied the shortcut. Compress safety reviews, only until we gain market share. Data soared, revenue dazzled, and an IPO crowned her queen of the future. But privacy breaches multiplied, regulators circled, and brand loyalty frayed. Spotlight shifts to an email she drafts at 3 a.m. Apology laced with legalese. Her reflection in the screen looks older than midnight, should allow. Triumph laced with sleepless dread. Scene 3. The Colonel's Parade. In a small nation capital, a colonel's medals glint under tropical sun. Belial's packed, delivered surplus weapons for deterrence, siphoning funds from crop subsidies. Tanks idle while granaries empty. Children queue for rationed rice. The colonel stands at attention on review platform. Parade drums masking growls of his own conscience. Brass gleams, stomach knots, curtains draw. Scenes merge into a single tableau. 3 figures, shoulders bowed under crowns they forged themselves. No demonic chains, only choices compounded, moral decay, orchestrated over time. Thesit, turn file fordert fear, deserters file fordert fear. Inhale gently, feeling empathy flow like water over stones. None began villainous, each wanted to serve, to innovate, to protect. The pivot came when urgency eclipsed ethics, when a voice whispered just this concession Belial's genius is making concession feel like commitment. Now bring the lens close, inside project teams, friendships, household budgets. Smaller crowns rest there, the urge to inflate a resume bullet, the temptation to skim a partner's boundary. The rationalization that one late invoice won't matter each is a seed of tyranny over self. Exhale, picture lifting these tiny crowns, setting them on a shelf under honest light. Some melt, revealing they were tin-painted gold. Others shrink into simple service badges, useful, humble, no longer heavy. Stage lights fade. Audience applauds softly, not for downfall, but for the lesson voiced in silence. Let curtains close. In the darkness behind your eyelids, resolve that your leadership, no matter how modest, will rest on transparency, stitched each day. If applause comes, let it find you steady, unmasked. If it does not, let integrity itself be ovation enough. Sleep as house lights dim. The theater of caution slumbers until next needed. Scripts filed away beneath pillow calm. Chapter 21. The gentle hook. A moonlit lake lies still, glassy as untold secrets. Over its calm surface drifts a solitary rowboat. From its stern Belial casts a silver fishing line. At the end dangles, asterisk, asterisk, a hook so fine, it gleams like starlight. No barbs, no clotted bait, just a promise of effortless reward. Asterisk, asterisk, consider the young analyst we glimpsed before. Fluorescent bulbs buzzing overhead, long after colleagues left. His screen flickers with market chatter, whispers of a merger unannounced. An anonymous message slides into his inbox. Subject line, Sejid, heads up. He hovers over the attachment. The hook shines. Asterisk, easy advantage. Asterisk, asterisk, minor risk. Asterisk, asterisk, everyone does it. Asterisk, his pulse quickens. KPIs loom. Student loans call. Just a nibble. Pause the scene. Breathe slowly with him. The hook's power is tension concealed. Water seems placid until the line twitches. Accept a tip, and compliance checks tighten. Secrets spawn bigger secrets. Sleepless nights multiply. Yet in the moment, nothing bleeds. Hooks appear beyond finance. In friendships they masquerade as white lies. I'm fine. When aching, I didn't mention your idea, because time ran out. Harmless, until intimacy thins. In health they arrive as snoozed alarms. Skip checkups, snacks labeled asterisk, deserved asterisk. The line tugs later. Fatigue, diagnosis, regret. Belial's strategy thrives on speed. The hook must land before reflection unfurls. Your shield is Sijin pulse, a beat long enough for conscience to speak, for a mentor's earlier advice to echo, for policy to be read. Picture the analyst closing the email, stepping away to refill his water. Fluorescent hum recedes under the steady beat of his footsteps. In that minute, the lake's surface ripples, the boat drifts, Belial reels in empty line. Opportunity lost, but only to him. The analyst returns, reports the message to compliance, and feels lungs expand, as if a storm passed. Now envision your own lake at dusk. Hooks may glitter tomorrow, sales that sound too sweet, headlines too convenient, relationships promising growth with no hard work. When you spot that gleam, set the oars down, breathe, watch the lure drift by. Some fish thrive deeper, beyond reach of shiny peril. Exhale fully, hear water lap against safe shoreline. You have weathered the gentle hook tonight, proving that quiet discernment outmuscles polished temptation. Curl beneath blankets, as if beneath a warm deck canopy. The line is cast elsewhere, your dreams sail unhooked. Soon we will journey to asterisk, asterisk, seeds beneath the floorboards. Asterisk, asterisk, where corruption grows like roots beneath cozy rooms. For now, let eyelids close, let breath rock gently, and know that vigilance practiced in small moments keeps the sharpest hooks forever blunt.
Chapter 22. Asterisk, seeds beneath the floorboards. Asterisk, night settles over a quiet cottage. A cedar shingled roof, ivy climbing windowsills, hearth still warm from supper's glow. From the outside, everything whispers peace, yet beneath the polished oak floors lies a crawl space, dark and forgotten, where dust gathers in silent drifts. It is here Belial prefers to work when the gentle hook has failed. For asterisk, asterisk, he plants seeds of corruption that grow over time, preying on human weakness, until rot spreads unseen. Full seat hodo non, file thodo. Imagine him stooping through the cellar door, torch dimmed to an ember. In his palm sits a pouch of tiny kernels, no bigger than flaxseed, dull brown, easily missed. He scatters them along joists and support beams, humming a lullaby so soft it melts into cricket song. Each seed carries a quiet curse. Asterisk, asterisk, greed, envy, cynicism, fatigue. Asterisk, asterisk, dropped on dry soil, they do nothing. Pressed into hidden wood they sprout slow tendrils, thin as spider silk, weaving through grain toward the living rooms above. Pause and breathe. Feel the floor beneath you, steady, trustworthy, yet consider how little we check what lies below. Months pass, Conversations hum over these boards. A family hosts game nights, holiday dinners, heartfelt talks by firelight. Laughter echoes, but now and then a sharp remark slips through, sarcasm disguised as jest. The promise to fix a squeaky stair is postponed. Mail piles unread on the hall table, small oversights, harmless, surely. Above ground life feels normal. Below, roots thicken. The seed of cynicism drinks spilled coffee that dripped through a loose plank. It grows stronger, stiffening wood until joists creak like sighs. The seed of fatigue thrives on late night, scrolling, absorbing blue light that filters down through floor cracks. Nourished, it coils upward, nudging residents toward chronic distraction. None of this shatters a wall. It merely shifts the house by millimeters, enough that windows stick in their frames, enough that doors stop meeting their latches. Belial's genius is patience. A carpenter might notice sagging only after rainy season warps the threshold. Then repairs cost more labor, more lumber, more time than a simple inspection would have. In human terms, the repair is an apology long delayed, a boundary unspoken until resentment thickens, a neglected health check that becomes urgent overnight. The floorboards of daily routine mask the slow creep until footsteps sound different, hollow. Take a deep breath, letting ribs expand like beams renewed. Awareness is a lantern brighter than any torch Belial wields. Picture lifting a hatch in your own cottage, shining light into the crawl space. Cobwebs shimmer, but roots shrivel and glare. You spot the tiny crack where envy sprouted, an old comparison still lingering from social feeds. Sweep it out, you find a knot where fatigue nested, too many commitments accepted out of habit. Reinforce with rest, say a gentle no. Now listen, the house settles differently, a confident hush. Boards still creak, but only in honest acknowledgement of age and weather, not in warning. Above, family laughter continues, richer because voices carry no hidden strain. The cottage stands a touch straighter, its windows slide free, its doors click true. Belial retreats to the tree line, pouch lighter, smile thinner. He knows houses reopen crawl spaces only during storms or spring clean moods. Yet each inspection you schedule and every conversation aired in daylight denies him soil. Seeds might fall again, but light and routine maintenance deny them root. Exhale slowly. Feel mattress cradle your weight like sturdy floorboards freshly secured. Resolve a simple ritual once a week. Pause 10 quiet minutes and list small strains. Unanswered email, creeping self-doubt, budget corners cut. Cold each up like a plank to daylight. Mend early, mend gently. Rot thrives on secrecy. Transparency is timber seasoned by sun. The cottage dims, hearth coals glow to ember. Night breeze cools rafters. You pull blankets up, hearing only honest wood settling. Safe in dreams. May you wander rooms free of hidden roots. May every creak remind you of a structure cared for, lived in, loved. Next time we gather, we'll trace Segent Obsession's quiet echo, ***, exploring how lingering influence can echo through thoughts like distant footsteps. Until then, sleep certain that the ground beneath you is sound, and that any seed dropped in darkness meets a keeper who carries light. Chapter 22. Seeds beneath the floorboards. Night settles over a quiet cottage. A cedar shingled roof, ivy climbing windowsills, hearth still warm from supper's glow. From the outside, everything whispers peace, yet beneath the polished oak floors lies a crawl space, dark and forgotten, where dust gathers in silent drifts. It is here Belial prefers to work when the gentle hook has failed. For he plants seeds of corruption that grow over time, preying on human weakness until rot spreads unseen. Full seat Hodo non, file Thodo. Imagine him stooping through the cellar door, torch dimmed to an ember,
In his palm sits a pouch of tiny kernels, no bigger than flaxseed, dull brown, easily missed. He scatters them along joists and support beams, humming a lullaby so soft it melts into cricket song. Each seed carries a quiet curse. Asterisk, asterisk, greed, envy, cynicism, fatigue, asterisk, asterisk, dropped on dry soil, they do nothing. Pressed into hidden wood they sprout slow tendrils, thin as spider silk, weaving through grain toward the living rooms above. Pause and breathe. Feel the floor beneath you, steady, trustworthy, yet consider how little we check what lies below. Months pass. Conversations hum over these boards. A family hosts game nights, holiday dinners, heartfelt talks by firelight. Laughter echoes, but now and then a sharp remark slips through, sarcasm disguised as jest. The promise to fix a squeaky stair is postponed. Mail piles unread on the hall table, small oversights, harmless, surely. Above ground life feels normal. Below, roots thicken. The seed of cynicism drinks spilled coffee that dripped through a loose plank. It grows stronger, stiffening wood until joists creak like sighs. The seed of fatigue thrives on late night, scrolling, absorbing blue light that filters down through floor cracks. Nourished, it coils upward, nudging residents toward chronic distraction. None of this shatters a wall. It merely shifts the house by millimeters, enough that windows stick in their frames, enough that doors stop meeting their latches. Belial's genius is patience. A carpenter might notice sagging only after rainy season warps the threshold. Then repairs cost more labor, more lumber, more time than a simple inspection would have. In human terms, the repair is an apology long delayed, a boundary unspoken until resentment thickens, a neglected health check that becomes urgent overnight. The floorboards of daily routine mask the slow creep until footsteps sound different, hollow. Take a deep breath, letting ribs expand like beams renewed. Awareness is a lantern brighter than any torch Belial wields. Picture lifting a hatch in your own cottage, shining light into the crawl space. Cobwebs shimmer, but roots shrivel in glare. You spot the tiny crack where envy sprouted, an old comparison still lingering from social feeds. Sweep it out. You find a knot where fatigue nested, too many commitments accepted out of habit. Reinforce with rest. Say a gentle no. Now listen. The house settles differently. A confident hush. Boards still creak, but only in honest acknowledgement of age and weather, not in warning. Above, family laughter continues, richer because voices carry no hidden strain. The cottage stands a touch straighter, its windows slide free, its doors click true. Belial retreats to the tree line, pouch lighter, smile thinner. He knows houses reopen crawl spaces only during storms or spring clean moods. Yet each inspection you schedule and every conversation aired in daylight denies him soil. Seeds might fall again, but light and routine maintenance deny them root. Exhale slowly. Feel mattress cradle your weight like sturdy floorboards freshly secured. Resolve a simple ritual once a week. Pause 10 quiet minutes and list small strains. Unanswered email, creeping self-doubt, budget corners cut. Cold each up like a plank to daylight. Mend early, mend gently. Rot thrives on secrecy. Transparency is timber seasoned by sun. The cottage dims. Hearth coals glow to ember. Night breeze cools rafters. You pull blankets up, hearing only honest wood settling. Safe in dreams. May you wander rooms free of hidden roots. May every creak remind you of a structure cared for, lived in, loved. Next time we gather, we'll trace Segent Obsession's quiet echo, asterisk, asterisk, exploring how lingering influence can echo through thoughts like distant footsteps. Until then, sleep certain that the ground beneath you is sound, and that any seed dropped in darkness meets a keeper who carries light. Chapter 24. These Dumbra Freedoms. Double-edged sword asterisk. A vast plain unfurls beneath a twilight sky, horizon unbroken, rules unseen. You stand at its center, no fences, no roads, only cool wind tugging at your sleeves. The emptiness feels exhilarating. Every direction invites possibility, every choice your own. This is the liberty Belial praises with silvered tongue. This dumb, cast off the yoke, answer to no one. Yet freedom, unchecked, can slice both giver and receiver like a blade honed on desire. Take a step north, the plain ripples into rolling dunes of opportunity, jobs, cities, projects, friendships. Another step west, and you spy distant oases of pleasure, applause, luxury, escape. With no boundary, paths overlap, beckoning you to sprint in all directions at once. Soon lungs burn, decisions blur, and the vista that thrilled now overwhelms. Jean-Paul Sartre called this vertigo asterisk, anguish asterisk, session condemned to be free. We must craft values without cosmic map. So, sightsee, Dishiard and Siri Filesuri, Tart calls breathe. Notice a faint track at your feet, footprints etched in starlight, leading toward a solitary lamppost. Draw closer. Its soft halo reveals a modest signpost inscribed with 3 words. Asterisk, duty, dialogue, discipline. Asterisk, Plato might smile here, recalling his asterisk. Asterisk, tripartite soul. Reason guiding spirit, and appetite, like reins on spirited horses. Session C, Dishiard and Siri Filesuri. Freedom gains direction when yoked, not by tyranny, but by chosen principle. Imagine unpacking a small satchel. Inside lie humble tools, a journal for nightly reflection, a friend's phone number for honest counsel, a calendar space marked as Sabbath, whatever the tradition, a pocket of rest. Each tool becomes a waypoint, transforming open plain into pilgrimage. You still roam, yet paths now braid purpose into motion. Belial observes from the horizon, robes billowing like storm fronts. His allure wanes when wanderers select self-made compasses. He shouts, Bishtan, rules are cages, but cages differ from scaffolds. A cage traps growth, a scaffold supports ascent, then falls away. Duty, dialogue, discipline, scaffolds that keep the climb true. Feel wind ease as you pitch a small canvas tent beside the lamppost. Stakes drive into earth with reassuring crunch. Inside you set a lamp, jot tomorrow's intention, whisper a gratitude. The night is still vast, but no longer void. It is room. Consider your waking life, inboxes brimming, platforms beckoning, choices multiplying faster than dawns. Which freedoms invigorate, which exhaust, mark them. Which obligations uplift, which constrict, adjust them. In doing so, you sharpen the blade of liberty into a chisel, carving meaning rather than cutting wounds. Exhale slowly. Outside the tent, stars wheel on silent hinges. Their courses appear boundless, yet each follows gravity's choreography, an invisible discipline granting cosmic freedom its grace. So too may your day's arc, guided yet unconfined, chosen yet alive. Curl beneath imagined canvas, feel mattress cradle you as soft ground. The tent flap lifts, carrying Belial's distant voice away on cool breeze. Unbound drift loses flavor where mindful structure dwells. Sleep then, with plane and possibilities waiting beyond dawn. Your compass is set, your blade sheathed, until craft demands. In our next chapter, asterisk, asterisk, armor of accountability, asterisk, asterisk, we'll forge shields from everyday practices that keep that compass true. For now let eyelids close, breaths align with turning stars, and rest within freedom that knows its purpose. Chapter 23. Daddy Sessions Quiet Echo asterisk. Midnight settles like velvet over the world, but one corner of the mind refuses to dim. A single note, high, persistent, vibrates behind your temples, as if someone plucks a hidden wire. This is Belial's aftertouch, the echo that lingers once seeds were sown. Sides of sorts, paranoid murmurs, a growing detachment from ethical moorings. That a seat thea, daddy co file that a Caesar show boulder. He no longer needs to visit in person. The melody repeats itself. Imagine a narrow corridor spiraling inward. Along its walls hang memories. A snapshot of casual triumph. An email left unanswered. A small indulgence accepted with shrugging ease. In daylight these artifacts barely register, but after midnight they glow, pulling you deeper. Footsteps sound behind your own, yet slightly out of sync. The echo quickens, urging another circuit of reflection, then another, until the corridor feels endless. Pause here, breathe. Let awareness widen like a lantern beam, revealing that the hallway is only as long as attention allows. Obsession feeds on tunneling vision. It shrinks the outer world until one thought becomes a tyrant. Belial tuned that note to match your personal key. A fret over finances, a replay of someone's careless remark, a looming deadline now distorted into dread. He trusts you to keep replaying it, turning tension into background music. But echoes are copy, not source. Address the source, and reverberation fades. You picture a wooden door at corridor's end, unremarkable, yet barred by habit. Approach. The knob is cool, smooth. As you turn it, the single note falters. Its pitch drops like water losing pressure. Beyond the door waits a small study, lit by moonlight, spilling through a dormer window. On the desk sits a thick ledger open to 2 blank columns. Asterisk, what I control, asterisk, and asterisk, what I release. Take a seat. Here chair legs creak with sturdy honesty. In the first column, write 1 action you can take come morning. Schedule the doctor's appointment. Draft the frank reply. Move funds into a safer account. In the second, lay down worries no action can budge tonight. The market's mood, someone else's approval, yesterday's misstep. As ink dries, feel shoulders lighten. The ledger is mundane, but its clarity cracks the corridor's spell. Now, close the book, place it beneath the window, and notice how moonbeams silver its cover like quiet applause. The persistent note dims to a murmur, then a sigh, then silence. Obsession cannot compete with deliberate sorting. Paranoia cannot nest where transparency spreads its feathers. Breathe again. Air feels cooler, room wider. The mock footsteps vanish. You stand alone, but not lonely. Detachment gives way to reconnection with bed's softness. Quilts wait, heartbeats rhythm. Turn off the lantern. Step back through the now pale corridor. Its walls no longer shine with hypnotic pull. They are plain plaster, ready for fresh paint. Close the door behind you. Key clicks with finality. Belial's echo drifts, thin as smoke, unable to anchor. Settle under covers. Should the faint note return, promise yourself you'll reopen the ledger at dawn. With that pact, mind accepts rest's invitation. The study, the door, the corridor fade. Only stable darkness remains, companioned by steady breath. Sleep approaches on quiet feet. In its company you'll traverse gentler halls where echoes belong to seashells and chapel bells, not to anxious loops. Next time we meet, we'll step into Sejan freedom's double-edged sword asterisk, weighing responsibility against unrestrained choice. Until then, may your night be free of reverberation, your dreams uncoiled and calm. Chapter 25. Armor of Accountability. Dawn's first hush spreads like pale gold over the plain we crossed. In its quiet glow you kneel beside a small forge. Nothing grand, just a stone ring, a patient ember, and tools fashioned from everyday life. Here we will craft armor, piece by humble piece, for accountability. Is the shield Belial dreads most, His subtle knives glance off surfaces polished by truth. His gentle hooks bend when caught on iron links of shared responsibility. Begin with asterisk. Asterisk, the breastplate of honesty. Asterisk, imagine placing a single coal into the forge, a conversation you have delayed, a fact you've softened. As heat rises, the coal brightens, its edges clarify. Take tongs of courage and turn it in the flame until it glows clear orange. Now hammer gently. Name the truth aloud, perhaps in the mirror, perhaps in a whispered prayer. Each strike flattens evasion, widening a plate that will cover the heart. Honesty need not clang. It can sing softly, but it must ring clean. Next, fashion asterisk. Asterisk pauldrons of humility. Asterisk asterisk. Gather scraps of feedback offered by mentors, colleagues, children, anyone who has seen a blind spot you carry. Melt these fragments together. Humility isn't humiliation. It is metal tempered to flex rather than shatter. Curve the pauldrons so they rest lightly on shoulders. Reminders that viewpoint is partial, that learning never ends. Breathe deeply. Sparks drift upward like fireflies. The air smells of pine and possibility. Tap asterisk. Asterisk, rivets of routine asterisk. Asterisk, through the breastplate's edge. A weekly budget review. A nightly journal line. Where did I act with integrity? Where did I drift? These rivets hold plates together. Without them, finest metal gapes. Turn now to asterisk. Asterisk, gauntlets of transparency. Asterisk, asterisk, dip chain links into clear water. Open calendars, documented decisions, receipts shared with team or partner. Assemble them wrist to fingertip, so every gesture bears visible lineage. Transparency startles Belial. He thrives on shadows, but glass, bright gauntlets reflect his face back at him. For the waist, weaver asterisk. Asterisk, belt of boundaries. Asterisk, use strands of well-timed. No, cords of sufficient rest. Fibers of Sabbath, all weekend unplugged. Cinch until snug. Freedom bounded by rest becomes strength. Recall that fatigue was one seed. Belial planted beneath floorboards. This belt forbids its root. Forge asterisk. Asterisk, grieves of community asterisk. Asterisk, by braiding. Promises with trusted companions. Colleagues who review drafts. Friends who ask hard questions. Partners who share receipts of dreams and doubts alike. Slip grieves over shins. They steady each step. Alone a journey staggers. Together stride widens. Finally, lift asterisk. Asterisk, the helm of perspective. Asterisk. Asterisk, shape its dome from stories older than your worries. Biographies of persistence. Scriptures. Science unearthing galaxies. Line the inside with gratitude. Wear it to remember how one day's misstep shrinks beneath centuries of endeavor. Perspective cools panic, muffles ego's echo. Through its visor you see both horizon and foothold. Stand now. Feel pieces settle into alignment. Neither heavy nor loud. Sunlight licks polished steel. Faint runes appear. Small acts repeated. Returned phone calls, corrected invoices. Apologies offered before asked. These runes glow. They are proof the armor is lived, not merely worn. Belial watches from a distant ridge. Knives sheathed, hooks coiled. His art depends on soft flesh, unguarded by reflection. Seeing the armor, he calculates, but rivets, links and braids leave no seam for his designs. He turns, cloak snapping, seeking other travelers who hurry, without pause to dress. Exhale slowly. Within the armor,
Your pulse settles unhurried. Notice its comfort. Accountability is not burden, but assurance, distributing weight so choices feel lighter. When day's battles come, deadlines, markets, temptations dressed as shortcuts, plates will flex, not crack. As twilight returns, unbuckle nothing, simply loosen straps. Let consciousness drift. The armor does not rust in sleep. Dreams polish it further. Should you wake at midnight, anxious, run fingers along one link, perhaps a line from tonight's journal, or tomorrow's prepared apology. Metal will ring soft, reminding you that guardianship is in place. Close your eyes now. Sparks fade. Forge cools to ember. The plain settles into lavender dusk. You lie within a circle of trusted steel, heartbeat echoing quiet percussion against breastplate. Rest in the next chapter. Asterisk. Asterisk. A visit to Greystone Manor. Asterisk. Asterisk. We will hear a parable of a scholar who forgot his armor and what dawn taught him. Until then, sleep knowing that truth has shaped your shield, and no shadow can pierce what vigilance has forged.
Chapter 26. Asterisk. A visit to Greystone Manor. Asterisk. Fog drifts along a moonlit lane, curling around iron fences like spectral silk. At its end looms asterisk. Asterisk. Greystone Manor. Once a university retreat for contemplation, now a hushed curiosity locals avoid after dusk. You arrive as a guest, lantern in hand, invited by its sole resident, a scholar named asterisk. Asterisk. Dr. Elias Rowan. Asterisk. Asterisk. Famed for brilliance, newly whispered about for something darker. Inside, candle sconces flicker across paneled halls. Dust motes swirl where students once debated lively theories. Elias greets you in the library, smile polite, yet strained. Volumes sprawl over tables, grimoires, philosophical treatises, ink-splashed notebooks. At the center rests a single red journal stamped with 3 sigils, loops, thorns, barbs you recognize from Belial's lexicon. Elias pours tea. Steam veils his face, but you detect tremor in his hands. Just research, he assures, voice too casual, a grand proposal on mythic archetypes of temptation. Yet margins of his notes reveal bargains. Asterisk. Wealth for insight. Asterisk. Influence for clarity. He has traced Belial's rituals line by line. Circle of salt, ink of night, precise intention, curiosity, then ambition, then obsession. Days at Greystone blur. Elias sleeps little, wanders halls at odd hours. You hear murmurs behind the study door, his voice answering silence, then silence answering back. Protective circles chalked on oak have smudged where his feet paced. Each smudge, a seam Belial waits to widen. One evening storm clouds press low, rattling shutters. You find Elias in the observatory, red journal open, candles guttering. He points to an entry. Vitus, second meeting. Belial offers patronage, demands thesis prove worthlessness, liberates greatness. Elias's eyes shine fever bright. Imagine, he whispers, a philosophy that absolves hesitation, pure freedom. The thunder outside seems to nod, remembering your armor of accountability. You steady breath. Pure freedom, you counter, drifts without compass. Elias stiffens, then laughs, too loudly. Lightning flares. For a blink his reflection in curtained glass splits. One face resolute, the other gaunt, eyes black like ink. The curtain falls back, normal visage returns, but you have seen the mask crack. That night footsteps echo overhead, slow scraping, as if searching for something dropped. You climb warped stairs toward the attic. A trapdoor hangs ajar. Cold air seeps from within. Inside, stacked manuscripts form a crude altar. Wax puddles harden around. Spent candles
The red journal lies open to a fresh page inked in hurried script. Final accord tomorrow midnight. A floorboard groans. Elias stands in doorway, lantern halo ghosting his silhouette. For a heartbeat, desperation overtakes pride. Help me, he exhales. I wanted answers, now the questions won't stop. You guide him down narrow stairs to the study, seat him beside the hearth, and fetch water. Flames cast warm hues across shelf after shelf of neglected wisdom. Socrates on self-examination, Augustine on restless hearts, diaries of scientists who held doubt with care. You slide one such diary toward Elias. Read aloud, you suggest, voice shaking. He recites a passage about error admitted in time. Each word seems to loosen knots in his throat. He speaks slower, tears pricking. When he looks up, candlelight shows a man exhausted but reachable. Together you gather chalk, redraw a circle, not to summon, but to seal. Salt pours like soft rain, closing gaps. Elias places the red journal at center, then steps back. At your nod, he strikes a match, touches flame to pages. Ink curls, sigils blister, smoke rises, smelling of myrrh and ash. Outside thunder recedes, as though contract rescinded. Dawn seeps through stained glass panes, tinting dust with rose gold. Elias, pale yet calm, begins sweeping chalk into a pan. I'll need help, he says quietly. Letters to write, grants to forfeit, apologies to send. You hand him a broom, simple tools, honest work, the first rivets of restored armor. Later you depart Greystone Manor. Morning light gilds its stones, windows stand open, airing rooms long stifled. Behind you, Elias's voice drifts through halls, dictating a letter of withdrawal from his perilous thesis, choosing instead to study resilience of conscience. Breathe in, feeling fresh dawn. Fill lungs, breathe out, releasing the manor's shadows. Remember, brilliance untethered can lure any mind toward ruin, but accountability, spoken doubts, shared tasks, small acts of repair, guides wanderers home. Night will fall again, but Dr. Rowan will face it with journals of reflection, not forbidden sigils. And you, traveler, leave armed with proof that even those who step deep into Belial's labyrinth can turn back when a steady companion holds the lantern. Let eyelids lower. Imagine walking down that fog-soft lane, footsteps lighter than when you arrived. The manor recedes, its silhouette calmer, as though bricks themselves exhale relief. Sleep finds you on gentle paths, where knowledge mingles with humility, and no whisper outshouts a well-kept promise.
Chapter 28. Asterisk Ambition at the Crossroads. Asterisk Dawn's blush has scarcely cooled when you find yourself standing at a quiet intersection. A crossroads paved not with cobblestones, but with choices. 4 lanes curve outward into mist, each marked by a discrete signpost. Asterisk, asterisk, growth, recognition, security, service, asterisk, asterisk. The earth is soft beneath your soles. Birdsong laces the air. Somewhere beyond the hedgerows, Belial strolls, hands clasped, curious which path you'll claim. A wooden bench waits under a willow's shade. Sit for a moment, feel the afterglow of the inner citadel still humming in your chest. Lantern trimmed, shield buckled, ambition, that restless travel companion, paces beside you, eager for direction. Yet every route ahead offers reward and risk, promise and peril. Ambition itself is neither angel nor demon. It is the carriage, values, the reins. First, gaze toward the asterisk, asterisk road of growth. Asterisk, asterisk. Far off, glint glass, towers of new skills, new horizons. The lure is challenge, learning a language, mastering a craft, shaping an idea into form. But growth's lane can narrow into obsession, mile markers, passing in blur until you outrun reflection. Remember the scholar in Greystone Manor, who read without rest, chasing brilliance into shadow. Growth uncoupled from rest becomes famine, disguised as feast.
Turn next to the road of recognition. Its lampposts sparkle with applause, thumbnails, trending tags. Here flow likes, promotions, esteem. Recognition in itself can be sweet, a community's thank you, a mentor's nod. Yet this road hosts mirrors of ambition. Travel too long, and you navigate by reflections, not landmarks. Belial often loiters at roadside cafes here, offering bottled praise, carbonated and quick to lose fizz. Shift your eyes to the road of security. It winds through low valleys dotted with sturdy cottages. Savings accounts hum, health plans bloom, routines shuffle like well-trained sheepdogs. Security shelters fragile hopes, but linger without periodic inquiry, and comfort ossifies into cage. Recall the mayor whose safe political seat tempted him into silent compromise. Security purchased at the price of school's future. Finally, survey the road of service. It's the least ornate dirt-packed firm by many communal footsteps. You glimpse gardens where hands share spades, clinics lit by steady lamps, code repositories open to every learner. Service doesn't cancel ambition, it harnesses it. Growth for others' gain, recognition shared downward, security widened to a collective roof. Breathe deeply, let crossroads dust carry sense of each lane. The metallic tang of high-rise elevators, the sweet burn of spotlight heat, the warm bread aroma of a stocked pantry, the fresh earth of turned soil. Which fragrance stirs calm, not craving? Reach into your satchel, draw out a simple compass, the lantern-lit morale you forged in the citadel. Its needle swivels, quivers, steadies toward a blend, perhaps growth aligned with service, maybe security seasoned with periodic leaps, perhaps recognition, but only when it lands on voices lifted, not pedestal raised. Stand, plant staff in soil, whisper a vow, I will walk, pause, recalibrate. Ambition loves momentum, discipline loves checkpoints. Choose a lane, take 5 measured steps, listen for footfalls. Are they light, sure, in tempo with breath? If yes, continue until mist clears. If ground feels skewed, ankles straining, shoulders tight, stop, pivot, recenter, intersection square. Roads remain open, rechoice is allowed. Behind a hedge, Belial observes, brow furrowed. He prefers pilgrims who sprint headlong, deaf to inner signals. Watching deliberate travel frustrates his design. He recedes into shrub shadows, seeking swifter prey. Feel midday sun dappling path ahead, idle yet purposeful. Along chosen route, post small milestones, quarterly reflection, mentor coffee, family hike, volunteer shift. They are kerns marking progress, preventing drift. When night falls, camp where lantern of conviction still glows. Regardless of signpost color, exhale slowly. The crossroads fades, you lie once more upon familiar bedding, yet its map rests in memory, crisp as fresh parchment. Tomorrow, decisions will sketch your trail, reply tone, spending choice, conversation you postpone or pursue. At any unease, picture the willow bench, sit figuratively, listen to compass hum, heed which route invites both challenge and integrity. Close your eyes, hear distant paths rustle, but know your pace is yours, not Belial's drumbeat. Ambition at peace with conscience strides steadily, neither rushed nor stalled, always free to reroute toward wider good. Sleep now, traveler, dawn will soon return, and with it fresh junctions. Lantern trimmed, compass true, you will meet them ready, one mindful step at a time.
Chapter 29. The last candle. Dusk presses indigo against the window panes as you enter a small stone chapel tucked behind Greystone Manor's gardens. Empty pews glow faintly where stained glass hues bleed into wood grain. At the far end stands a single candle, tall, ivory, almost spent, its wick dancing with a fragile blue core. This is the last of the Manor's votives, lit by Dr. Elias Rowan at dawn, after he burned Belial's sigil, stamped journal. He asked you to watch it through the night, to be sure no lingering shadow snuffs its flame. Sit in the front pew, exhale. The air smells of beeswax and rain-damp roses, drifting from open lancet windows. Listen, no footfall, no whisper, only your heartbeat. The candles hush, and faint wind stirring. Ivy outside, the flicker paints gold crescents on floorboards worn by decades of silent prayers. With each gentle sway the flame teaches a lesson. It leans but never topples, shortens yet still gives light. Recall every candle we have tended since chapter 1, the first spark in a story circle, the lamp in desert caves, the lantern in the citadel, each served as compass against Belial's designs. Now their legacy rests in this single taper, an emblem of vigilance distilled to one clear point. Let memories flow, like images on stained glass, the mayor's echoing podium, abandoned to make room for restitution. The analyst closing the insider email, hook left untaken. Dr. Rowan sweeping salt into a pan, restoring sacred space. Their choices, small in moment, large in outcome, melt together like wax, pooling at the candle's base. Integrity accumulates, drop by drop, until it outweighs any glamour of expedience. Breathe in for a count of 4, hold for 4, release for 6. With every slow cycle, feel tension descend from shoulders to knees, then seep into floorboards, grounding thought. Observe the mind's doorways. 1 or 2 remain ajar, lists for tomorrow, flickers of doubt. Acknowledge, then nudge them shut. The candle does not fret about wax yet to melt. It tends only the inch of light right now. Minutes pass, the wick shortens, halo shrinks. You resist impulse to fetch another taper. Tonight's vigil is not about abundance but completion, allowing a faithful effort to conclude with grace. There is dignity in endings, sunsets, curtain calls, final brushstrokes. Even the most steadfast guardianship relinquishes duty when dawn arrives. As the flame sinks into its shallow pool, imagine words whispered into soft glow. Sages, thank you for your watch. Are they from Elias in distant corridors, from conscience itself? Hard to know, but gratitude fills the vault, expanding ribs, loosening jaw, smoothing brow. At last, the candle gutters, one final flare, a brief cobalt tip, then sighs into darkness. Yet in that breath before dark, your pupils widen, gathering enough light to see outlines. Altar rail, pew tops, your own steady hands. Vision adjusts, illumination persists within. From a pocket, retrieve a tiny box of matches, brush thumb along striker, but pause, no need. Your internal lantern suffices until sunrise. Stand, stretch, hear joints pop like distant bells. Outside, a gray line of dawn peeks over hedges, ready to flood panes with new fire. You leave the chapel door ajar, so first light can gleam across ashes of the spent taper, a natural benediction. Gravel crunches beneath your soles as you head back toward the manor, dew-kissing shoe leather. Behind you, in the nave's quiet, the scent of cooled wax mingles with dawn, fresh air, a testament that night's guardianship has ended unbroken. Climb into bed, or feel bedding already beneath you, letting limbs settle like cooled iron dropped into still water. The last candle's lesson lingers, every watch ends, but awareness earned endures. Should Belial drift near in future dusk, you will greet him not with fear, but with a new taper, and the calm certainty that light, even brief, is always enough. Close your eyes, sleep approaches, gentle as morning fog. Tomorrow we will open asterisk, breaking the pact, asterisk, where renunciation turns resolve into action. For now, rest assured in darkness,
dignified by duty fulfilled, and dream of candles whose small flames hold endless dawns.
Chapter 30. Asterisk. Breaking the pact. Asterisk. Morning sunlight spills across Greystone Manor's courtyard, glinting on damp flagstones. A chill still lingers, but birds thread promise through crisp air. Dr. Elias Rowan waits beneath a maple, red journal, ashes folded into a small linen pouch in his hands. Today he will break the last, invisible pact with Belial, the one signed not on paper, but in lingering habit and awe. You stand beside him, quiet companion, armor of accountability humming beneath coat cloth. The ritual is simple, almost disappointingly plain. No sigils, no circles, no midnight bells, just 3 steps. A spoken renunciation, a witness, and a choosing of fresh purpose. Complexity fed the earlier trap. Simplicity severs it. Elias draws breath deep enough to tremble cedar branches overhead. I name the bargain void, he says, voice steady. All promises made to worthlessness dissolve in light. He sprinkles ashes into a brass bowl of water drawn from the manor's well. Ink flecks swirl, then fade into clear. A small thing, a murmur, a gesture, yet the courtyard seems to exhale. You reply, not with solemn chant, but with plain words. I hear, and I will remind you should shadows reshape the vow. Witness is anchor, memory shared weighs more than private resolve. 3rd step, choice. Elias pulls from his coat a fresh notebook, unlined, ivory pages waiting. He writes the date, then a single sentence. Asterisk research will serve restoration. Closing the cover, he ties it with twine, once used for the red journal. String reforged to bind, not ensnare. Together you walk toward the village, pouch of diluted ash clinking softly. At the old stone bridge, you let water pour into the river. Current carries ink toward sea, where salt will finish what dawn began. Belial's pact, once etched in secrecy, is now pulp in sunlight. Pause mid-span, watch ripples widen. Breaking a pact is rarely a thunderclap. More often, it is this quiet release, followed by choices made again and again. A week from now, a journal prompt will lure Elias toward grandiosity. Your phone call will steady his aim. A month on, a conference invitation may tempt him with shortcuts. His new notebook will remind him of purpose. Renunciation is seed, tending is harvest. You part ways at Village Square. Elias heads to the university to submit formal withdrawal from the contested thesis. His stride is lighter, but not reckless. Freedom and discipline share his pace. Return to the manor garden. Kneel where yesterday's candle stood. Spot of wax remains, opaque tear against grain. With thumbnail you flick it free. Pocket it, a token of vigilance. Soil smells of thawing earth. Worms turn unseen, aerating, preparing. Breaking pact is also cultivation. Breathe slowly, inhale growth, rich air. Exhale any residue of dread. Feel within how your own old agreements, those silent concessions to haste, to flattery, loosen, seeking fresh annulment. Whisper them by name. Imagine their letters dissolving, like ink in well water. The river awaits them too. A bell rings from village chapel. 8 slow notes. They mark neither triumph nor finale, only morning's ordinary rhythm. That is the point. After grandeur of peril, health returns to modest tasks. Breakfast shared, email answered with candor, research conducted with transparent notes. Belial's power wanes in such ordinariness, for he cannot glamour what is already honest. Stand, stretch, maple leaves glitter. If wind later lifts them into spiral dance, you'll smile, remembering ashes turn to clear. Pact broken, day begins. Slip back beneath covers, real or imagined. As chapter closes,
Feel body soften into mattress or carriage seat or garden bench. The words of renunciation echo faintly, like lullaby in reverse, settling nerves. Should any ink-dark thought surface tonight, recall the river's current, the diluting swirl, the pouch now empty. Sleep approaches, gentle as page laid between chapters. In our next tale, asterisk, asterisk, ashes and dawn light, asterisk, asterisk, we'll explore aftermath, how life stitches itself after vows are reset. Until then, rest in the quiet authority of pacts released, purposes renewed, and mornings that ask only truthful footsteps.
Chapter 31 asterisk, ashes and dawn light, asterisk. The sun slides higher, brushing every rooftop with rose gold warmth. Greystone Manor, once shrouded in scholarly gloom, now gleams as though its stones have been freshly quarried. Morning air carries scents of tilled soil and citrus polish, new rituals replacing incense of worry. This is life, after the pact is broken, when embers cool to fertile ash and daybreak invites first seedlings to push through. Walk the corridor where candle smoke once clung. Light pours through open shutters. Curtains billow like sails, catching a gentle tide. Dust motes scatter, having lost their languid dance in heavy air. A robin perches on the sill, tilting its head as if inspecting renovations of the heart. You smile, remembering that transformations rarely trumpet themselves. They begin here, in hallways swept, in windows unlatched, in breaths taken without weight. Downstairs, the library hums with quiet purpose. Dr. Elias Rowan sorts books into 2 stacks, asterisk to keep asterisk, and asterisk to release. Asterisk volumes rooted in wonder join the first pile, astronomy atlases, ethics essays, folk tales that respect both shadow and light. Tomes steeped in allure of domination slide into cardboard boxes marked for donation to academic archives, where experts can dissect them safely. Each thud onto corrugated paper reverberates like a hammer tapping nails into a firm foundation. Pause beside a table where a kettle steams. Elias sets out 2 mugs. Tea leaves unfurl, a ritual now laced with gratitude. Funny, he says, stirring honey. I thought freedom meant limitless research. Turns out limits chosen with care give research its soul. You toast to bounded curiosity. Mugs clinking softly, steam curling upward like blessings. After tea, step into the garden. Earth underfoot is moist from last night's rain. Elias kneels to mix yesterday's cooled candle wax into soil at the base of a young oak. Even remnants can nurture growth, he muses. Wax softens, melding with mulch, sealing moisture for roots. Ash from the journal became river silt. Wax becomes tree food, nothing wasted, everything repurposed. Stand back, breathe deeply. Notice how tension no longer coils between shoulder blades. Exhalations flow unbroken. A breeze stirs maple branches overhead, scattering light and shadow in gentle mosaics. Shadows remain, but they flicker across paths lined with intention. That is the quiet marvel of dawn light. It doesn't erase night's memory. It frames it in clarity that guides new steps. Imagine your own dwelling, office, studio, kitchen corner, glowing with this same dawn. Where could cooled embers feed fresh roots? A discontinued habit might free minutes for a phone call to someone lonely. Money once spent on hollow status might fund a shared meal. Even apology, once ash of regret, can nourish trust. Inside the manor, a bell chimes the half hour. Elias gathers satchel and notebook, heading to town for his first lecture since renunciation, resilience and moral astronomy. You accompany him to the gate, ivy twined, iron swings open, and gravel crunches beneath renewed stride. Sunlight halos his silhouette, no dark passenger keeps pace. Return to the garden bench, feel wooden slats warm beneath early rays. Close eyes, list 3 seeds you'll plant today. Maybe literal herbs in a pot, maybe words of encouragement,
maybe a boundary redrawn kind. Hold each seed between mental fingertips, sense its tiny weight, the potential folded within. When you open eyes, commit to soil them in daylight. A church bell in the village rings, vespers early, inviting reflection even at morn. Its peal blends with birdsong, forming a soundtrack of ordinary holiness. It tells you the night's work is complete, that it is safe to rest when the sun is high, because rest too is sacred. Return to bed, or feel bed welcome you anew. Sheets sun, sweet pillow cool, let eyelids lower, while mind strolls memory, lanes now free of lurking shapes. If worry tries to rehearse old tunes, remind it gently, asterisk, that pact is ash, that ash is river, that river feeds the sea. Asterisk waves will cradle it far from shore, while you float in calm shallows. Dream of oak branches stretching skyward, wax-fed roots gripping earth, leaves whispering, asterisk, all endings are beginnings wearing soot, asterisk. When morning comes again, you will wake beneath those branches, inside or out, knowing dawn light not only heals but instructs. Rest, listener, the ashes have found purpose, and the dawn has found you.
Chapter 32. The mirror turns evening, settles again, softer than silk, wrapping manor and meadow in lavender hush. In Dr. Rowan's study stands a mirror once veiled during darker days, a rectangular pane framed by modest oak. It survived Belisle's glamour, yet carried lingering memory of masks and monstrous reflections. Tonight, at Elias's request, you lift the protective cloth. Glass catches lamplight, then moonlight, until it glows like still water beneath stars. Approach with slow breath. See first the obvious: hair tousled, eyes ringed with gentle fatigue, shoulders eased by recent peace. But stay, mirrors, like stories, deepen when patience lingers. Let vision soften. Behind familiar features surfaces something subtler, the quiet ember of resolve, the dawn light we carried from the garden. It flickers, not on the glass, but through it, as though the mirror has turned from object to doorway. Invite memory of earlier chapters to stand beside you, perhaps the young analyst who refused insider tips, the mayor who chose restitution, Elias sweeping chalk. In the reflective surface, these figures appear translucent, then merge into your own outline, reminders that choices link us in invisible constellations, that integrity is communal even when walked alone. Listen, the manor's grandfather clock ticks, unhurried, between ticks, heartbeat answers. In that interval, ask softly, asterisk, what face might this mirror show tomorrow? If today's intentions bloom, maybe it will show kindness, etched around eyes from laughter shared, maybe curiosity, brightening gaze. After a new skill, learned in service, whatever image forms, notice it without grasping. Mirrors share possibilities, not predictions. Now pivot the frame, so it faces the room. Bookshelves, writing desk, the open window where night air drifts in. The mirror now reflects outward, its surface no longer measuring you, but multiplying space, bouncing lamplight into corners once dim. This simple turn carries quiet symbolism, self-reflection ready to illuminate world beyond skin. Feel shoulders loosen. Sometimes the most generous gift we offer others is the glow of hard-won awareness, scattered like soft lantern beams into conversations, projects, embraces. Your inner citadel's lantern, mirrored outward, can light the path for someone still fumbling in shadow. Reach to the mirror's back and affix a small note. Note check posture, then share the light. Elias smiles, nodding approval. Cloth stays folded on a chair. The mirror will remain unveiled as testament to fear overcome. Step away. Glass now holds only the room's gentle order. No monsters, no masks. Should distortions reappear, you know to pause, breathe, realign. Mirrors turn with hinges of decision. Reflections shift with tilt of heart. return to your resting place. Close eyes, envision moonbeams ricocheting from that oak, framed pane weaving silver threads through corridors, into village lanes, across seas perhaps, each thread a narrative of vigilance made visible. Somewhere, a traveler may glimpse faint glimmer and wonder who tended such distant lamp. They needn't know your name. Light carries signature enough. Let breath, slow to tranquil cadence, bed cradles limbs as mirror cradled self-recognition. If dreams bring reflections, greet them kindly, ask what guidance they lend, and in waking let that counsel shine outward. In our next chapter, asterisk, why stories matter in the dark, asterisk, we'll step back from single reflections to explore the collective hearth of narrative itself, the way tales guard night and usher dawn. For now, sleep beneath the angled glow of an inward mirror turned toward world, knowing that sight shared becomes hope multiplied. Chapter 34. Asterisk, sleep, safe and still, asterisk, lamplight is low. The manor's corridors hush, as though exhaling one last sigh before slumber. Beyond leaded panes, moon-white clouds drift, their pace unhurried, guiding the night toward deepest calm. You close the library door, fingertips lingering on cool brass. Inside, embers dim in the hearth, but warmth lingers, pooling across rugs and lingering in the grain of ancient oak. Walk slowly through the foyer, past portraits no longer foreboding. Each canvas glows with a soft patina, proof that stories told, packs broken, and mirrors turned have lifted the veil that once shadowed these halls. Footsteps ring gentle, a lullaby of leather on stone. At the stairwell, banister under palm feels smooth, kindly polished by years of searching hands now stilled in peace. Ascend. Each step rises like a measured breath. Inhale, exhale, lift, rest. At the landing, a tall casement window frames constellations, familiar symbols etched in starlight. They have watched every chapter unfold and now blink in quiet approval. One star, brightest of the cluster, seems to wink, a final candle in the cosmic nave. Enter your room, curtains billow, as night air whispers lavender from garden beds below. Sheets lie turned down, quilt folded like welcoming arms. A bedside table holds a single bowl of cool water, its reflection ripples, nothing more sinister than moonbeams, an occasional whisper of wind. Sit at edge of mattress, breathe long unhurried, feel armor of accountability, unbuckle, piece by piece, sliding gently to mental racks, helm of perspective, pauldrons of humility, breastplate of honesty. They will remain within reach, but for now, muscles soften beneath their absence. Even guardians rest, even watchtowers lower lanterns. When dawn is certain, close eyes for a moment, sense heartbeats of those you've met along this journey. The analyst, the mayor, Dr. Rowan, the children tending seeds, the gardener sharing folk tales. Their pulses are steady tonight, tucked into their own rooms, soothed by lessons learned. Across miles and memories, a web of calm radiates, and you are central strand, vibrations of peace flowing both to and from you. Open eyes, reach for a small notebook kept on pillow. Write 3 words, perhaps asterisk grateful, grounded, glowing, no commentary needed. Ink dries quickly, sealing intention into tomorrow's dawn. Close book, slide it beneath pillow, where thoughts will mingle with dreams. Now ease beneath quilt. Fabric is cool at first touch, then warms to body's quiet flame. Roll shoulders, allowing spine to settle into natural curve. Feel mattress support limbs, refusing neither weight nor rest. Turn head, cheek meets cotton, soft against skin. In this posture, world grows distant, but safely so. No isolation, only gentle removal from noise. Listen, manor heartbeat slows, pipes tick, wood flexes, a lone owl hoots.
satisfied. Beyond vast sky, hums with low cosmic lullaby. Perhaps it is the song lighthouse keepers once used to pacify storms, now traveling star to star. As eyelids lower, revisit earliest candlelight. See it now with added context, a single flame. Yes, yet echo of every flame. Afterward, salt-ringed, mirrored, carried down corridors of story, until it became you, breathing softly in dark. Flame and breath are kin, both draw oxygen, both offer light. Let final conscious act be an exhale, so gentle it barely stirs quilt edge. You need expend no more effort tonight. Bilial schemes have ebbed beyond reach, dissolved into lessons. Ink, river silt, dawn-lit dust. Shadows may exist, but none cross threshold ringed by attentive peace. If dream self wanders, may it stroll gardens where wax feeds roots, and stories bloom like moonflowers. If it sails seas, may lighthouse songs guide vessel to quiet coves. Should waking fears tap at shutter, lantern within will flare just enough to show they are smaller than once believed. For now, settle, heartbeats slow, breaths lengthen, thoughts unfurl like silk streamers, then fall silent. Sleep safe and still, under canopy of constellations and care. Dawn will arrive in due course. Until it does, the night is yours to inhabit gently, entirely, and without any whisper of worthlessness. Rest.
Chapter 35. Dreams beyond the lantern. Moonlight strokes the manor rooftops. Yet somewhere beyond these walls, a first blush of dawn prepares to rise. You lie beneath your quilt, eyelids half closed, when a soft inner tug invites one last excursion, this time not through corridors of stone, but across the dim terrain of sleep itself. Tonight's chapter is less a tale than a gentle launch, easing you from waking watchfulness into the slow-moving river of dreams. Picture the lantern, you have carried since the inner citadel. Small brass, flame unwavering. Set it beside your pillow. Watch its glow spill into the hush. The light feels familiar, trusted, but notice something new. Inside the lantern glass coalesce tiny motes, each one a seed of possibility gathered from our long journey. They swirl like fireflies, a scholar's renewed purpose, a mayor's atonement, a child's hope, your own quiet intentions. Together they form a miniature galaxy, orbiting the wick. Breathe in, long and low. With that inhale, imagine the lantern door opening. The motes drift upward, float above quilt folds, arrange themselves into constellations. Made for sleeping eyes. One cluster shapes a lighthouse, another an oak tree, another the gentle outline of a raven gliding, feathers whole. Each emblem carries a message already settled into your marrow. You need not decode them. Sleep will. The constellations turn, slow as tide. As they wheel, the physical room softens, boundaries dissolving into a shoreline of dream sand. You feel quilt become warm dunes, pillow a downy dune grass. Lantern rests on beach rock, its beam narrowing to a silver path that stretches over quiet sea. Boat. Rocks at water's edge, small, sturdy, oars crossed like folded arms patiently waiting. Step into the boat, no need to stand. Simply imagine surrendering body weight, to its cedar boards. They accept you without creak. The lantern's beam guides, but you needn't row. Current begins to pull mild and sure. Listen to oarlocks clink in rhythm with heartbeats. Slow, slower, slowest. This is hypnagogic drift. The crossing from story shore to dream sea. On distant horizon glows a faint band of color. The next sunrise still hours away yet already promised. As your boat glides, silhouettes appear in lantern light's wake. Seeds germinating beneath floorboards now sprout small shoots.
The last candle's ash merges with river silt, nourishing reeds. Mirrors turned outward flash friendly signals to travelers beyond sight. All these images calmly assure you that asterisk work begun in waking life continues, tended by unseen hands while you rest asterisk. Exhale fully. Should stray thoughts nip at hull, unfinished emails, tomorrow's errands, nod to them, set them adrift on leaf boats of their own. They'll float beside you a while, then drift off toward shores where morning lists will greet them. Your vessel remains unburdened. Clouds above part, revealing star fields you've never mapped. Clusters named asterisk. Serenity, renewal, discernment. Asterisk. One star winks, releasing tiny chime. Sleep's invitation. Lids grow heavy, muscles liquefy, even narrative voice recedes. Words thinning like retreating tide. Soon only the hush of oars kissing water persists. Then even that sound softens into the deep hush beneath all dreaming. As the last conscious ember cools, remember, lantern's flame still burns at prow, a guardian escorting you through night's innermost channels. Should dream currents shift, its light will steer. Trust it, surrender, drift, sleep, traveler, beyond the lantern, safe, unhurried, bathed in constellations seeded by waking courage. Dawn will lift veil when ready. Until then, let boat and lantern bear you gently into restorative dark. Chapter 36. Asterisk. Silence beyond the shore. Asterisk. The lantern's glow has faded to a single ember, yet your boat continues its gentle glide across the dream-lit sea. The horizon, once tinted by promise of dawn, now melts into a seamless band of silver and slate. In this space, water mirrors sky so perfectly that direction loses meaning. There is only open quiet, stretching like a great soft quilt beneath the cosmos. You lie back against cedar planks, palms resting atop one another, feeling heartbeat and hull beat in near perfect sync. Each pulse sends a ripple outward, yet the surface quickly smooths, asking nothing of you beyond presence. The lantern's last flame settles into the wick, a warm coal, steady, contained. Around it float faint sparks of the night's constellations, drifting down to nest inside your chest, like fireflies settling into tall grass. A breeze, gentle as a lullaby, brushes cheek and brow. It carries no scent, no chill, only assurance. Listen, there is no splash of oar, no cry of distant gull, not even pulse of waves against bow. Instead, a hush blankets the scene. True silence, asterisk, not empty, but full of rest, the way soil is full of seeds, invisible until spring. Breathe in, lungs expand as though drawing from endless reserve. Breathe out, the exhale feels lighter than you remember, as though each breath carries away one last grain of tension. Muscles drift toward perfect neutrality, jaw unclenched, hands unfurled, spine buoyed by the boat's cradle. Even thoughts slow, words dissolving into gentle impressions. Cool, vast, safe. Far overhead, a star extinguishes, not in tragedy, but as if switching off a lamp in a room now ready for sleep. One by one, other pinpoints dim, until sky resembles sheer silk, color of closing eyes. Yet darkness here holds no threat. It is the comforting dark beneath a grandmother's quilt, where stories pause and dreams write their own quiet chapters. Recall faintly the journey behind, candles, corridors, citadels, broken pacts, gardens blooming. Each memory settles like silt to seabed, preserved yet undisturbing. No figure of Belial remains, his whisper evaporated in the vast hush, rendered powerless by calm vigilance. Should his name cross mind again, it will be as distant echo, heard through thick velvet curtains of peace. Boat slows, not from resistance, but from spiritual gravity, pulling you toward rest's center. It comes to a stop amid glass smooth water. You are afloat yet motionless, weightless yet grounded. Here,
Even time seems to set aside its ticking and doze. If any thought still seeks audience, an errand half remembered, a conversation unfinished, offer it a place on the water's surface. Watch it form a small paper boat, fold by gentle fold, then catch the next sigh of air and drift outward until it shrinks beyond sight. There is no hurry. You may fold as many boats as come. Eventually none remain to be made. Another breath, heartbeat steadies, 3 soft drums closer to dream than waking. Asterisk, asterisk, thumb, 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 asterisk, asterisk. Between each beat, silence, ripe with healing. Bodies repair crews stir, cells exchanging whispered plans, muscles loosening knots, mind filing insights into shelves labeled, access later. You assist by doing nothing at all. At last, even the ember inside lantern sighs, closing its eyelid of glow. Darkness completes its gentle conquest, but deep within, the seeds of earlier light remain banked, ready to flare when morning calls. For now they rest with you, coals beneath winter hearthstones. No next step awaits, no guiding voice continues. There is only the soft certainty that you have arrived at the innermost cove of night, where asterisk, asterisk, sleep is not sought, but found. Asterisk, asterisk, let go, allow consciousness to seep below, decking like honey, through comb, pooling in the secret well, where dreams drink. Feel self become diffuse, as if body's borders blur into water, water into sky, sky into a single sable hush, and in that hush, drift. No story follows, only silence, safe and still.